Eisenstadt from Politico joining us from Washington. I want to bring in Republican Congressman Don Bacon of Nebraska. He's a member of the Armed Services Committee. He's a retired Air Force Brigadier General. Sir, thank you for joining us. You defeated the incumbent Democrat in your district last year in one of the country's closest races. You're already fundraising for next year. In 2016, Nebraska went for Donald Trump, 59%, 34% for Hillary Clinton. Historically, we know midterms are tricky. Given what has happened during the first 100 days, how are you thinking about whether you align yourself with Donald Trump or something else in order to win again?
Well, for me, it's simple. It's about doing the right thing, and it's about achieving results. So we have about 20 more months to achieve results, and we better do so if we want to do well in the midterms. But we need to fix a health care problem where people on the individual market right now are paying $30,000 a year before they get a penny from their Obamacare insurance. We've got to fix that. We've got to get tax reform done, and we need to restore our military strength. If we can do some of those basic things that we committed to do, I think we'll do fine. But if we don't get this done, we'll fail.
But there's a bit of a process problem here, right? I mean, health care sort of got dropped on Congress without an understanding of who's supporting it and who's not. Now we're talking about tax reform. These are massive, massive, massive issues. Health care and tax reform. You don't just sort of tell someone that you're showing up with it on Wednesday and hope you guys get something done in the first 100 days. What's the problem with you're not getting things done because it's not being handled properly?
Well, I think we didn't handle health care right. We got to go back to that, take our time more, and get it right. And I think we're doing that right now. But I think that's also very important to get that done so we can do tax reform. I just came back from the United Kingdom with the Speaker. They're lowering their corporate taxes to 17%. Ireland has theirs at 13%. Canada has theirs at 15%. We're at 35%. And we're one of the very few countries who tax overseas earnings twice. Most countries do it just once. We got to help our businesses be able to compete on a level playing field right now. And our country, our own government, has our businesses running uphill with a lot of weight on their backs. We got to restore that. I think if we can get health care reformed, do tax reform, and these are huge issues, I think we'll do very well in the midterms. But it's all about results.
You're speaking my language, sir. I hear you on that. I will say that Ireland and the UK and Canada have lower corporate tax rates, but everybody pays it. You don't have the kind of ability to have companies pay zero tax like you have in the United States. But even still, isn't it strange to hear that you're getting a bill dropped on Wednesday on tax reform, which is, again, one of the most difficult and hardest things to do? When you say we have to do health care right, you have to do tax reform right, too. I mean, I worry that it'll meet the same end because nobody knows what's coming.
Well, it needs to be done through regular order is what we call it, and I've learned that. I'm a freshman, and that's a term that it needs to go through the committee process. Right. It needs to be debated. It needs to be marked up in committee, and then we need to have a debate. And I think we should do it with all of our bills. So like right now, we're going to have this discussion on continuing resolution. I believe we should have a short-term continuing resolution. But in the end, we got to get a budget through regular order so we can fund our military and all of the domestic spending appropriately. So I'm for regular order. So I would agree with you there.
I mean, you're a military man, right? If the military ran the way this Congress is running, we'd be in disasters. I mean, you have to actually have some plan. Everybody involved has to know which direction you're moving in and which way to shoot. So do you have an opportunity to tell your leaders in Congress, can we slow down? Let's talk about everything. Let's think about it. Let's put it out, put the sunlight on it, and make some good decisions.
Well, I believe that is the plan for tax reform. The president's going to drop it into the Congress, but yeah, we're going to still debate it, and we're going to do regular order through the Ways and Means Committee and all the other committees that have a piece of that legislation. So I think in the end, the Congress will do this through regular order, and it needs to be. And we need to do the same thing with our budget. We've had 8 years of no budget because we can't agree on military and domestic spending and the balance, and we got to hash that out. Our military, just the other 2 weeks ago, we had the Chief of Staff of the Army, General Milley, said, if we do another CR, continuing resolution, and don't pass a budget, that it would be political or professional malpractice, and people will die. We got to fix that.
The one obligation you have in Congress is appropriations, so let's hope we get that done. Sir, thank you for joining us. I look forward to talking to you again. Congressman Don Bacon is a Republican of Nebraska.